and responsibility is a problem of boundaries. Honorable Board of Judges, fellow Toastmasters, a pleasant afternoon. What does a boundary look like? In the physical world, boundaries are easily seen. Fences, walls, signs, channels with huge crocodiles, manicured lawns are all physical boundaries. And in their differing appearances, they give the same message. And that is, this is where my property begins. And I know where it ends. Now, think how confusing it would be if someone would ask you to guard my property diligently because I will hold you responsible for whatever happens here. And he did not give you the boundaries of the property, or he did not give you the means on how to protect the property. This would be not only confusing, but potentially dangerous. This is exactly what happens to us emotionally. Emotional boundaries are just as real, but often harder to see. Let me give you two examples of emotional boundary problems. First, the compliance. Compliant people have problems in saying no, and I must admit, I was one of them. They have difficulty in saying no. They pretend to like the same movies and restaurants. They fear of saying no because they fear of losing friends. They fear of being shamed. They fear of being seen as bad or selfish. And this was one of the consequences of my being compliant. My wife was shouting, "Is this what you want for your child? Dadless dinners? Do you know that I got a new name for you, the Phantom, because you're never home? You're always out even during weekends. You break your promises." Well, my loving wife was transformed. So I responded, "Han, relax. I just can't refuse my clients. I just can't say no." "Well, I found people whom you can say no to. Just me and your daughter." "Well, please do understand. I'm doing this for you." "Well, I do understand, but I had enough." So this is the drama. "I feel like a single parent. For a while I missed you. But now I feel nothing." Where? In that moment, something broke deep within me. A sense of pain, shame, rage, and guilt. And I reflected. I was compliant because I easily melt to the needs and demands of other people. I was compliant in a way that I cannot really say no every time I want to say no, it passes my throat. But when I realized that my emotional radar is broken and that this problem is paralyzing me, no muscles, I started to define my boundaries. Besides, I learned from Dr. Townsend's research that those people who can say no more often are happier people than those who can't. And that I've learned from boundaries, that we are all responsible for our own selves. So I really did set my own boundaries, and my life has improved. I am no longer the phantom or the ghost in the family as I became more visible and responsible. That is why, this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this to you, to increase your happiness, your success, and your love. The second emotional problem that I want to share is about triangulation. This involves three people, and this is common in the workplace and in dysfunctional families. How many times have you been hurt by the question, "Do you know what your friend said about you? Do you know what your friend said about you?" And you may respond, "What? The last time we talked, everything was fine." Or anyone in this situation may blurt out, "Is there anybody here who can tell something without getting or telling the whole world?" If you're person A and you hate person B, but you don't tell person B that you hate him, you lack boundary. Because if you tell anybody else or any third party, so it means that you're not owning your anger. Person B deserves to hear it straight from you. So to avoid this problem, never ever tell any third party what you don't want to tell to the person himself. Compliance and triangulation are only two of the many emotional boundary problems that exist. But no matter how many could there be, always remember that any confusion of ownership and responsibility is a problem of boundaries. So, before you get burned out in your job, before you fail your marriage, before you lose your friends and your children, set emotional boundaries, define them, and live a happier life. I gain from it, and so can you.